Hello and welcome to the Average Joe Conspiracy Show. My name is Adam and today I want to take the opportunity to ask the question, who and what is a conspiracy theorist? And on the surface it seems quite simple, although different dictionary definitions differ. My understanding is that a conspiracy involves multiple individuals who deliberately conceal, hide or withhold information whilst possibly fabricating an alternative narrative in an attempt to deceive or shield the truth. So a conspiracy theorist is simply an individual who completely or partly rejects the proposed narrative and suspects or believes a general conspiracy proposition towards a person or event. So by using this definition, can we divide a clean line between conspiracy theorists and people who just simply don't believe, or skeptics, shall we say? And after conducting a bit of research and reading up quite a bit on this, I simply don't think you can. In the last few months, I've learned that you can't just tar a whole group of people with the same brush. It's too simplistic. Not all conspiracy theorists are tinfoil hat wearing keyboard warrior troglodytes, and equally can be said about skeptics not being closed-minded sheeple who are government shills. My attitude and understanding towards all of this has changed in the last couple of months, and I hope in this video I can sort of bring an alternative view towards conspiracy theorists. I do wish to discuss a certain section of the conspiracy theorist universe and hopefully shed a bit of light on how complex this whole thing is. In a book titled A Culture of Conspiracy by Michael Barkin, he details that conspiracies can be categorized into three different types: event conspiracies, systemic conspiracies, and super conspiracies. Event conspiracies focus on single events, so like 9/11, the Titanic sinking, the assassination of JFK. So systemic conspiracies involve complex plots that continue over a long period of time, such as water fluoridization and chemtrails. So super conspiracies involve multiple conspiracies spanning a wide area of subjects and that are all linked together in an overarching master plan. The most common is event conspiracies, and out of all these, this is the one that I want to focus on today. So last month I read a book called Escaping the Rabbit Hole by Mick West. Many hardcore conspiracy theorists watching this are hissing at the screen as I say this, because he is considered an enemy of truth and a government shill. But in fact he seems to be a retired computer programmer who had a non-profit hobby of studying conspiracy theorists and debunking them online for decades, and finally publishing his book in 2018. But upon reading his book, I will admit I did get my back up. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe in certain conspiracies, or at least say that I would consider some plausible. Who is he to write a book for other people to challenge me on what I believe, because they need a step-by-step guide to deal with somebody who's just not as, who is not as reasonable-minded as everyone else. It just didn't sit right with me. But in fact, he addresses this quite quickly in his book, and he openly states that there are definitely real conspiracies out there, which I completely agree with. Where you have power and money, you have corruption. It is that simple. Anyway, in his book there is a section which I want to discuss today, which I will be simplifying somewhat just for time purposes more than anything else. I do heavily recommend people who are interested in this sort of thing reading his book, regardless of if you're a skeptic or a conspiracy theorist. It's really interesting to have his insight into this. However, there is one section where Mick West details the levels of event conspiracies. So you have level 1, the exploited event, also known as the glad it happened theories. Level 2, allowed events or let it happen theories. Level 3, the deliberate event or made it happen theories. Or level 4, the faked event or it never happened theories. So I think the best way to describe these 4 levels is to completely make up a scenario and put them into context. So let's imagine a kingdom far, far away. There lived a prince and princess, and although the prince was very well respected and popular throughout the kingdom and the royal family, The princess was very unpopular, highly disliked, and demonised, being the controversial person she was.
You suck!
It was also rumoured throughout the kingdom that divorce was inevitable between the young couple. One morning, the kingdom woke to the news that the princess had died. A royal statement was released detailing that the princess was walking through the royal woods with her prince and was stung by a bee and suffered a fatal reaction. Most people accepted and mourned the tragic loss. However, conspiracy theories spread through the land, and we can now put these conspiracies into 4 different categories. Level 1, the exploited event. This would be the belief that the princess did in fact innocently get stung by a bee whilst walking through the royal woods. However, the prince seized the opportunity to either let her die or deliberately delay help after the sting. A level 2 conspiracy, or the allowed event, is the prince knew that the princess was allergic to bee stings and encouraged his princess to walk with him around the royal woods every day, knowing an aggressive hive was near, awaiting the inevitable. So a level 3 conspiracy, or the deliberate event, is that the royal family were fed up with the princess's antics and with her continuously damaging the royal family's name, deciding to inject her with poison while she slept and dragged her body into the woods, fabricating the whole being stung by a bee story. And then that leaves us with level 4, the faked event. She was never killed. The royal family lock her away in the dungeon whilst completely fabricating the story. And that would mean the coroner, witnesses, and also likely that the media are involved as well. So now we've discussed the 4 levels of an event conspiracy. Let's pick up that template and place it on an actual event that happened and real conspiracies that actually exist. 9/11. We all know what happened on that September day, but obviously there are many people that feel that there was foul play. So let's put all these into 4 categories. So level 1, without warning, the terrorists actually conducted their attack. However, George Bush used this event to demonise Saddam Hussein, fuel hatred in the West, to justify sending troops across the world to profit from the oil supply, peddling fake information that they had evidence of weapons of mass destruction. Level 2 would be that the American government had full intelligence that this attack was going to happen, but ignored the warnings, took down their defences and kind of encouraged it, again so they could fuel hatred in the Middle East. So level 3, it was an inside job. The government deliberately flew drones into the tower, blew up the buildings using a controlled demolition, and staged the whole event. I'd probably say that's the most popular one I hear. So level 4, the faked event. It never happened. The government and the media peddled the fake news using CGI, holograms and special effects for the planes, and all witnesses and people involved are actors and actresses, and the whole thing was completely made up, tricking the world. So using this system, it's a lot easier to categorise what individuals are using this level system regarding event conspiracies. For example, you couldn't label me as a conspiracist or a skeptic. I am certainly more skeptical minded, but I'd say that there are a few level 1s, possibly a level 2 out there, which I would believe is plausible. At the same time, you could have someone who's completely level 4s all the way through, but believes in a level 1 or a level 2 here or there. It's not black and white. It's not you are a believer or you're not. It adds a whole different dimension to all of this. And although Mick does detail that level 1 conspiracies tend to be the more plausible, doesn't necessarily mean that you're a complete lunatic if you believe in a level 4 or level 3. As I've always said, and I've always believed, that all conspiracies should be based and judged on their own single merit. So now I've adopted this category system. It's completely changed my understanding of this weird and crazy universe of conspiracy theories. So again, I'll finish by asking the question, who and what is a conspiracy theorist? I could talk about this for a lot longer, but I really wanted to keep this video short. So I can't recommend the book more. It's really educated me and really opened my eyes, as I was slightly guilty before of simplifying this whole area and just sort of dividing people up into certain sections. It isn't that simple, so please, I really recommend it. And if you've liked this video, again, please like, share and subscribe. And also I want to say a massive thank you to people supporting this channel. It's really fun, really interesting, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.